Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Sheldon here, and today we're on the website of Amati Auctions based in the UK. We're going to have a look at their latest auction of fine stringed musical instruments, and this auction is finishing on the 29th and 30th of October. So I believe the buyer's premium for Amati is 22%. Yep, we can see it here, so just bear that in mind. Whatever the final hammer price, you need to add 22% on top. This is a UK based auction, so if you're outside of the UK, bear in mind there might be additional shipping and import charges. Watch out for CITES stuff as well. For those of you new to these videos, basically we just have a look at musical instrument auctions, quickly go over them, just see if there's anything interesting. Otherwise, I put a link to the catalogue. You can check it in your own time and just see if there's anything interesting for you. If you have any comments or questions or concerns even, feel free to comment. And yeah, just to say, if you do enjoy these videos, please consider liking, subscribing, turn on notifications, etc., because it does help. Without further ado, I think we'll just crack on because there's quite a few lots. So at some point, halfway between 313, it will, flip over to the second day. So as I said, it's the 27th today, and this particular auction finishing on the 29th and 30th. I'm a little bit late to the party today because I've been super busy recently, so this is coming in a bit late. So first of all, let's just kind of go for this first instrument here. Cello by Mario Garda, Mantua 1974, with a receipt from J.P. Givier & Co., a well-known shop in London. I don't really have enough info to comment on that, just to say that I think a lot of people are a bit wary of anything Garda related, or Mario Garda anyway, these days, because there's a few interesting things going on with the making from his workshop. I did actually look at this auction yesterday, so there's some really interesting stuff around. This cello was pretty cool. Cello, probably England, circa 1800. I quite like this. It's got a bit of kind of charm to it, but pretty cool. It's obviously had some interesting repairs on it, but I quite liked it, to be honest. Definitely had character, and I wonder if we've seen that before in one of the previous auctions. I can't quite recall, but anyway, it's got 2,200 current bid on that, so I quite like that. Otherwise, a few other things. This cello by Giuseppe Quagliano, that's been in a few times, I'm pretty sure. A few other kind of things here. We're going to have to be pretty brutal, really, because this is another big auction. Another instrument that's been in before, actually, this Viola by Tommaso Evole, Naples, 1760. The thing is with this instrument, featured in some books, it's just very small, 373. I mean, that's really is quite tiny. And also it doesn't have a scroll as such, although this is kind of original, so I think it's a bit of a niche kind of item, but interesting nevertheless. I'd be curious to see if that sells or not. We've got a few other violas here. Yeah, this is quite an interesting viola, actually. Viola by Harry Clare, Newcastle on Tyne, 1937. Yeah, quite a nice instrument, actually, 1 to 2,000. Yeah, not bad at all. Nicely made. Nice kind of edge work there. Just check what the size is. 45 is a really solid kind of big modern size, so I think that's pretty good. A few other interesting violas here. So let's see what's going on. Viola by George Krask, circa 1850. I don't even remember seeing this, which is a bit odd because I really like Krask violas, especially. I just don't remember seeing this at all, so obviously that's a bit of a failure on my part. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I really like Krask violas. They're far better than the violins from the examples that I've seen. Nice looking back on that one. Actually, sorry, what was the size of that? My brain is going a bit. 398, yeah, it's not too bad. It's fairly big. Could be a little bit bigger, but not too bad. This is another quite nice viola. Viola made for Longman & Co. London, 1780. Got bits of 2,100 on that. Yeah, this is nice good viola. Let's see what the size is. 402. Yeah, it's a pretty good size as well. Got a silver mounted cello bow there by Eugene Sartre. Starting bids 15,000. Got condition reports here as well. Let's see what else we got here. Frechner, Malcolm Taylor, John Clutterbuck. So some interesting English bows there. Some French stuff. Gold mounted hill bow there. It's a gold and tortoiseshell mounted bow by Malcolm Taylor here. Quite a fancy looking thing. More hill bows here, like so we're just going to be pretty brutal here. Silver mounted violin bow for Gand and Bernadelle here. Frog needs a bit of restoration. Silver mounted violin bow by Max Millant. That's kind of interesting. So a few curious bows already. Let's carry on. We're doing quite well. Blitz through that. Frechner, JTL bow here. Gold mounted violin bow, faintly branded Kittle. Silver mounted violin bow by a member of the Knopp family here. Wonder what the condition report is on that. Okay, it's a bit of a repaired crack here. Okay, it's kind of curious. Starting bid 400. It's not a bad looking bow. What's the weight on this? 64 grams. That's kind of a little bit on the heavy side. Let's see what else we've got here. Nickel mounted violin bow, School of Mare. Some more GATL. Silver mounted violin bow by James Dodd. So we get 18 at 40. Interesting head on that. Okay, we've got a few bids in here. Another bow for Gand and Bernadelle. Well, it seems like a few options to get some decent bows for not too bad. Here's one of the main items in the sale. Violin by Carlo Antonio Testore there, circa 1730. Let's have a quick look what the length of the back is on that. 357. Look at the pictures, it looks like fairly nice. Really cool scroll on that, I have to say. Okay, interesting. So, looks like part of this has been replaced, so that is slightly curious. It's kind of a remnants of a label and the brands inside, so yeah, curious. It'd be interesting to see if someone goes to that, even with the kind of bit of the table. Right, this is another curious one. A violin by David R. Buchanan, 1943, made in the desert during World War II from a beach gatepost, pine from the cookhouse, and ammunition boxes. So I think there's been some social media posts about this. So I believe this is a relative of the director of Amati, and this person obviously served during World War II and made this violin, which I think is fairly kind of impressive, to be honest, to do during wartime. And it looks like pretty good for a wartime violin. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool, to be fair. What else do we have here? Right, we've got a Kuiper's violin here from The Hague, 1805, which I do quite like. That's fairly nice. Violin Germany. Workshop of Mark Lebert there. Violin by Joseph Hill. Let's see what else we've got here. Cowston School stuff. Clot School. This is an interesting one. Violin by Frederick Hughes Chaudier, Montpellier, 1995. So they're quite big Chaudier now. It's actually a nice, really nice violin. It's probably a pretty good price, actually, considering. I bet if you were to buy one now, it would probably be double that, if not more. So that is fairly interesting violin to see. Actually, let's just check the length of back on that. 351, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think it's quite a nice violin. Let's see what else we got here. Violin, 19th century. Quite like the scroll on that. That's quite nice. Violin circa 1770. This one I really like actually. Violin, probably Marchi region, circa 1820. It's pretty bonkers, which is why I think I like it. Pretty cool scroll. I wonder if this one has been in an auction before as well. I'm not entirely sure. So my brain is kind of failing a bit, but this was kind of halfway interesting. A violin, probably Italy, 20th century. But the varnish is, fortunately, it started to fail, and it's got an open centre joint, so slightly problematic. Very cool. Kind of modern Italian stuff. We're just being very brutal here. South Germany there. Got some bids on that. That's good. Violin, Italy, 19th century. Yeah, curious looking violin. Let's see what the size is. 359. Not so much to my taste, but definitely quite interesting. A few more French things here. We'll just blitz through. See if there's anything that catches our eyes. This was great actually at the viewing. Really like this. Violin by Georges Chanot, Paris 1844, starting bid 15,000. 362, a little bit long. They love the longer violins, some of the Chanot ones, but I thought this was beautiful actually. Really like this violin quite a lot. It's obviously had a fair amount of repairs, but real characterful instrument this, so I like that one a lot. Let's see what else we've got here. Degani, let's have a quick look with this. This deeply cut scroll, and I think probably saw from the first picture this kind of fluted F-holes. It's a bit of an acquired taste, I think. A few more clot school things. Richard Duke violin. I think the back was possibly quite nice on this. Could be wrong. That's not too bad. It's fairly standard. Let's see what else we've got here. Some books. Kind of standard fare there. Nothing too crazy. In a case. Some more cellos here. Cello Circle of Thomas Kennedy. 6 to 10 on that. That's had an interesting life, but nice looking cello otherwise. This Richelme cello's been in before, pretty sure. Let's see what else we got here. Viola by N.F. Violin, Brussels. Not super inspiring to me, to be honest. Nice Ferber viola here. That's quite nice. Okay, let's crack on. See if there's anything else. Viola circa 1800, table by another hand. Viola 19th century. This is a really interesting viola that's definitely been in before. It's definitely a curious one. It's in quite a state really, but definitely interesting. Viola by William Luff. We saw a few William Luff violins, I think, in some of the other auctions recently, but definitely his violas are Very nice. Okay, a few more bows now. Let's have a look. This is an interesting one. Ivory mounted classical cello bow from around 1800. So it's got a lift to the stick, but kind of interesting to see a classical cello bow from that period. Garner Wilson viola bow there. A few bits here and there. Hill bow here, Frechner. Silver mounted violin bow by Mark Yakushin. Let's have a quick look at that. Not a maker I know particularly well. Sartre there, possibly workshop of Sartre, there you go, a bit of a speculative lot. Silver mounted violin bow by John Dodd. That's interesting, 800 to 1200, let's have a quick look at that. Spliced ahead, yeah, I was going to say, the seems very cheap for a Dodd bow. Another Yakushin there. Hill bow. Silver mounted violin bow for Max Moller. Just see if there's anything curious here. Silver mounted violin bow by Francois Lot. There, circa 1945. See, okay, another one of the interesting violins here. Violin by John Lott, London, circa 1645. I think that needs quite a bit of a clean and set up, but interesting. Let's see what else we have. This is great. Violin by Edward Pamphilon, London, circa 1700. Head not original, but otherwise, yeah, this is really awesome. If you like kind of early English violins, then this would be a great violin to have. 352 length of back. Very cool. Okay. Okay, violin Germany. Kind of probably Degani there. Violin workshop of John Betts, London, circa 1810. Quite nice colour varnish on that. 12 to 25, that's quite a wide estimate there. Violin by Ambrose de Comble there, and there was one of these in one of the other auctions in Brompton's, I think, as well. Possibly preferred the other one. Violin by Henry Ferber. Yeah, definitely some interesting bits around. Okay, some more kind of standard stuff there. 18th century violin there. Let's see what else we've got here. Calsan school stuff. This actually was a violin that I really liked. Violin Low Countries, 18th century. I thought this was really quite cool. Oh, the thing is not loading. Let's have a look at the 360. This was one of my favourite violins, I think, that Amati have. But the one problem being it's heavily over varnished. It's very shiny, which is quite unfortunate. But otherwise, I think it's a pretty cool violin, this one. Really liked it. Definitely in a curious state. Let's see the measurements, actually 355. Yeah, this is the one that I really like, actually. I like this one quite a lot. But, like I said, heavily over varnished, which is really quite unfortunate. Alfred Vincent. Let's see what else. Naples. Dazi, George Pine, violin, Italy, 18th century, cut down and quite possibly composite. Okay, interesting. Curious looking thing, isn't it? Very odd. Okay, we're getting closer to the end of the auction now. Violin by Cesar Maggiali, Genoan, 1963. Okay. Violin Germany, JTL. Another Calsat, a few more books and things, and I think we are. Oh, it's the Giuseppe Guarneri del Gesù book there. A few more books, and I think we're getting towards the end there. Bow cases, etc. Yeah, that's basically it. So an interesting sale, definitely a few curious items in all the different sections. So definitely worth checking out if you have time. So it finishes in a couple of days. So yeah, check it out and see what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.